what is a hard money loan?
Well, a hard money loan, Denver, first of all, what a good question. But a hard money loan is a short-term loan that's funded by private investors, typically compared to someone going to a traditional bank or a traditional lender. If they're going to buy a primary residence or perhaps, another investment property that doesn't need work, they may utilize those options. But for this episode, we're going to focus just on hard money. Hard money is asset-based lending solutions, so we're lending more on the property than we are basing income, tax returns, that sort of thing. So it's a pretty good way to close quickly. And as you'll find out in the episode, we'll dive a little bit more into it. But hard money can be a really good option, especially for people doing fix and flips.
Gotcha. So kind of touched on it just a tad.
Yeah.
So in addition to it being a great option for people that need to close quickly, they've got a deal on the table. They don't want anybody else in it. They want to be the first, the first offer in. Speed is often, one of the most important parts in closing deals like this. What are some other benefits, speaking from the perspective of a real estate investor, when it comes to using hard money?
There's a couple of really good benefits to hard money in general. Like you said, speed is important. Keep in mind that, closing a loan quickly may be really important to a seller for whatever reason. Could be important to someone that isn't even necessarily on the market. It's like, hey, if I'm going to consider selling this property that I own as an investment, I want to close in 10 days.
Right.
Bank or a traditional lender is likely not doing that. Yeah. But that's where hard money may come in. So it gives you an opportunity kind of to find some stuff that may not even be on the market. But regarding anything else in addition to speed, one of the other, I'd say, really big benefits is hard money is going to look at what we call after repaired value. So meaning when you buy a property, say it's a distressed property, it needs, some money into it. What does that look like regarding, what is that property worth after all the repairs are completed? That's one of those things that we're going to kind of dive into on the hard money side. We having a recording issue?
No, we're good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, there was a random beep in our headphones.
No, we're all good.
We're good, yeah.
Okay, so speed, using after repaired value. Again, hard money may lend you that money that you need to fix up the property. So in that regard, you're not using as much of your own money. Would allow you to maybe do more than one project at once or keep your options open so you're not limited to just buying 101 Main Street, holding that for the next 6 months while you do your work. Maybe there's another property that comes up 2 months later. So speed, using the after repaired value. And then one of the other ones I think that people don't talk about as often is hard money lending is typically a little bit more flexible than traditional lending. Not only speed, that sort of thing, but let's talk about credit, right? Not everybody has perfect credit. Whether you're a 630, let's say, or an 800, hard money may be a great option for you versus you doing traditional lending. Not only is speed slow, but maybe they don't lend below 680. What does the guy who's a 660 do? Credit's not everything. Hard money understands that a little bit further than traditional financing.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I do want to we're going to talk about stats kind of throughout this because I find some really interesting stats as you and I are going through these. So,
let's do it.
So percentage-wise, because I just like quizzing you, but of all of the real estate investors that used financing to fund purchases in 2023, so what percentage of those investors do you think used hard money versus traditional financing and or their own cash?
I did horrible the last time, so I gotta make up. I'm gonna say 30%.
Pretty close, man. So 40% of all real estate investors in the United States use hard money to fund their most recent project. So 4 of 10 are using this financing. Doesn't mean all of it reports correctly, of course. There could be a few more, but compared to using their own cash and or using bank financing. So, and like we said, one of the other stats, just kind of timeline-wise, is a traditional lender is probably 30 to 45 days for closing in most scenarios, maybe a little quicker, maybe a little bit longer. Yeah. Hard money is usually 7 to 10 business days. So, hey, Denver, I love your house. How do you want to close here in 2 weeks? Usually a pretty good selling point for you when you put an offer in. So
right. Man, yeah, that's a big difference.
It really is.